So this is the second video in the front lawn food plot video series, I guess, if you will. It's been probably maybe a month or so since we last spoke about this topic, but not a whole lot has changed. Nothing's and grown up, and as you can see behind me, it's still a bare dirt patch, but I have come in here and done a few things to help better my odds in having a successful food plot this spring, summer, and into the hunting season in the fall. The whole area was covered in leaves. I tried burning those off, and then I got the bright idea, just get out the mower and either mulch them up or blow them to one end of the food plot, and that actually worked pretty well. It's for the most part completely leaf free, and I've come in and gotten almost all of the debris, sticks, twigs, leaves, trash. I've gotten almost all of that out of here. And something I did that I don't know really why I did it, but I mowed a path through the woods that kind of circles this whole thing, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I was able to mow it all down and get it to a good bare soil, so I thought I might as well plant something in this area that's different than the main food plot to see if the deer prefer it. Maybe next year I can go that route. But my main reason for planting this is buckwheat. I'm planting buckwheat, and buckwheat is the first thing to germinate in the spring. And we've actually had a stretch here where it would have been better to have it already in the ground, but we're having 70-degree days, and it's been nice for a week and a half or so. And it would have been nice to already have this in the ground so it could have started germinating, but I think we're still okay to plant it. But I'm gonna plant buckwheat on that trail that loops around the whole food plot, just to see what it does. If it doesn't do anything, oh well, no big deal. And I've also got two 50-pound bags of triple 19 fertilizer that we're going to spread all over everything just to help get it started and established. One main thing that fertilizer is going to do, it's going to help the weeds as well as our desired crop of choice, which is clover and now the buckwheat. Fertilizer will help those weeds thrive and flourish, but I'm not really worried about that now. I just wanted to give it as much nutrients as I can to get it started, get it established, and then this spring and summer, later in the spring, this summer, once it's all thick and green, we'll come in and spray it to kill off any broadleaves or grasses that come up through the clover or through the buckwheat, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna spread 100 pounds of that, and I've got another bag of the Ladino clover that I've planted, and just gonna kind of overcast everything one more time just to make sure we've got enough seed spread. This will be the best and the most soil I've had exposed yet, so I think this will do really well, and just kind of make sure we've got enough to hopefully have this whole thing thick and lush come October. But I don't know, we'll see what happens. I'm just kind of winging it, but you know, stay tuned and we'll see what happens. Alright, it's the next day. I did all those things I said I was going to do in the previous update, but what I didn't tell y'all was I decided to go ahead and plant the buckwheat everywhere, all throughout the clover plot and on that trail that I said I was going to do. I ended up having more seed than I really needed for that trail, so I was like, why not throw it in here? The buckwheat will be the first thing to sprout up and establish itself this spring. So that buckwheat doesn't have a ton of sustenance for deer. They may eat it, they may not, but that'll allow this plot to green up. If deer want to eat it, they'll become familiar with the plot, and that'll give the clover kind of a shield or a protection, so it can then green up and grow and flourish. So I went ahead and planted the buckwheat everywhere, just broadcasted it in, and what y'all just saw me doing was spreading the 100 pounds of triple 19 fertilizer. If you know anything about clover, it doesn't need much nitrogen at all. It actually produces its own nitrogen, but to help get it established, it does require nitrogen to help it start growing. Once it's growing, it's producing its own. So that's why I went with the triple 19. Triple 19 just means per 100 pounds of fertilizer there is 19 pounds of nitrogen, 19 pounds of potassium, and 19 pounds of potassium. So NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, NPK. That's what the three numbers on a bag of fertilizer stand for and what they represent. Once, like, let's say this time next year, if I'm going to leave this into clover, I haven't decided what I'm going to do, but let's say I was going to leave this into clover, I would get some kind of fertilizer that didn't have any nitrogen, because it would be producing its own. It doesn't need it at that point, and get like a 0-10-10 or a 0-20-20. I'm not sure the correct numbers, but you would bypass adding nitrogen. Like I said, the clover is producing its own, but it still needs the phosphorus and potassium. So as of right now, there's not a whole lot more I can do until this thing starts growing, which I know it's early still. It's just the middle of March. I'm just excited, and I live right across my driveway from here, so I'm over here looking at it two or three times a day, thinking maybe now there's something in there. But I just need to give it time, let it do its thing, let the seed work, let the fertilizer work, and I'll give y'all an update as soon as there's an update to give. I don't expect anything for the next 3, 4, maybe 6 weeks. I don't really know. It's all depending on Mother Nature. If we get some rain, which we're supposed to next week, so this should be good timing to get the seed in the ground. And then once that rain passes, as long as we have warmer days where the soil can continue to warm up and germinate the seed, we should have some growth here soon. That's assuming this all isn't one big failure, and we'll continue to keep y'all updated assuming something happens. But yeah, until then, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below if you have any questions, hit the like button. I need a cool sign off. Hey all you cool cats and no, stay classy, Blue Ridge. No. Until next time, whack 'em and pack 'em, baby.